Hey guys, Randy here, and welcome aboard the Seabee Traveler Channel. Today we're heading a little bit farther southeast. We're gonna stop by the world famous Tombstone, Arizona, and then I'm gonna go a little bit farther to it's a historic site called Charleston, Arizona. There's not a lot of information about it, but it's an old abandoned site that I want to just kind of check out. And then I thought we would head down a little bit farther to the San Pedro House. It's a small ranch house that was restored by the Friends of the San Pedro River. It's right along the river, and it's part of the riparian forest. So today we're not going to cover a ton of miles, but we're going to be covering quite a bit of history, looks like. So, all right, first stop is going to be Tombstone. There's just a couple of spots I really wanted to check out, and a lot of you probably know that Tucson has had a lot of fires throughout the years, and a lot of it's been burned down and a lot of it's been replaced. But there are a couple buildings that were adobe and brick, and they've survived and all original. And then I kind of wanted to check out the old Boot Hill. Weather-wise, we're looking good right now, but a little bit later, monsoons are going to kick in, and we'll get some weather coming in. See, we're just about there. This is the very outskirts of Tombstone. See, Tombstone, the whole town is a registered National Historic Site. Yeah, here's we're gonna stop at Boot Hill first, and this is the turnoff to it. And I've been here before, and it's really neat because you have some of the well-known guys from the OK Corral fight, like the Clantons, and they're buried here. So anyways, let me get parked, and then we will go check out some of the interesting people that are buried here.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.
In memory of unidentified veterans, pioneers, and settlers. It was donated by American Legion back in 1937. A neat little plaque here, Boot Hill Graveyard. Well, I kind of like how they have these railroad spikes holding it down. That's kind of neat. Boot Hill denotes a settlement where men died with their boots on. The graves in Boot Hill were originally heaped with stone to keep the vermins from stealing the bones. National Register of Historic Places. Heck yeah. This is just like a world famous place. All right, let's go check it out. The entrance is right over here. So yeah, we'll get inside and we'll pay, and then we'll see you on the other side. Well, that wasn't bad at all. It was only $6 to get in. It's off season, so that's probably why. But yeah. All right, so when you first get in here, you get a pamphlet that it kind of explains where individuals are, and a lot of them how they died. So let's see, we got to find row 1, which is at the bottom of the hill. Let's see, we got Old Man Clanton. He was killed on a cattle drive. They were ambushed by some Mexicans. And here we have Billy Clanton, Frank McClary, and these three were killed at the most famous shootout in the world, probably, is the shootout at OK Corral. like this headstone. Billy Clanton, says they were murdered in the streets. Well, you can see the storm moving in that they promised. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. I kind of want to beat the storm, get into town. But this just kind of gives you a good idea of what is here. And it's well organized. You can use that pamphlet. You can walk around and easily find the markers, and it explains what happened to almost just about everybody here. Of course, there are some unknowns. For the most part, you can find out what happened to each and every person in here. Well, let's take a look at this one. This one stuck out with this wrought iron. Mrs. Stump. So the pamphlet says that she died in childbirth. Her doctor gave her too much chloroform, and that killed her. Man, that was back in, I think, 1882, something like that. Well, let's see here. This one got my eye too, with the Ocotillo fence around it. What do we have here? China Mary. And let's see, this one, the pamphlet says Quang Lee. Oh, he was a Quang Ki. He was buried in a pauper's grave, and then they moved him here so he could be buried with his friends. He had a restaurant, a can restaurant. What do we got here? Swain. John Swain. Oh, he was a freed slave. Let's get a better look here. 1845, former slave who came to Tombstone. Wow, almost 100 years old. It's just all these, probably just about everybody in here was around or had some two Chinese. This must have been the Chinese section of the cemetery right here. But yeah, most of these people were here. Personally saw the fight or the shootout at the OK Corral, or they had heard about it as soon as it happened. Here's one that I kind of wanted to see too. The Brady brothers. One of them, they both died in the San Pedro River, and one of them was trying to save his brother's life, and they both drowned. Oh, hey, check out this. It's a snake skeleton. Huh. I remember when we lived out in Quartzsite in the desert, my grandma, when we killed a snake, she would put the snake by an anthill, and they would clean everything out for her. Then she'd make us necklaces. All right, well, I think that gives you a good idea of what Boot Hill Cemetery is like. A lot of history here, and so many different types of ways that people died, from ambushes, killed by Indians, mining disputes. But let's go take a look inside the souvenir shop, and you can see lots of stuff that you can get. Postcards, wanted posters, coffee mugs. Let's see what else we have here. Refrigerator magnets. Oh, and lots of books about the history of Tombstone. And on days like this, it's nice and cool in here. The air conditioner is going. Lots of jewelry. All right, well, I think that's probably going to do it. So we'll head out. I wanted to get over to town because that storm's coming. What else we got here? Boot Hill Graveyard, city of Tombstone, welcomes you. Alright, let's get out of here so we can get into town before the rain hits.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.
So what I thought we would do first is just kind of take a drive down. You can't drive down the more famous part of the town, but you can see it right here. This is the OK Corral to the right. But I'm just going to take a little quick drive through this part of town. Well, that's an old building. And then try and find a parking spot. It's later in the afternoon, so it's probably the busiest it's going to be. This time of year it's not too bad, but there's not a lot of parking right on the street. There's a parking lot I know about that we can get to, and should be no problem finding parking. But if you continue going straight on this road, that'll take you down towards Douglas. But we're going to be taking a right here. There's a pretty big parking lot that I used last time I was here. It's been 4 or 5, 6 years maybe since I've been here. So I don't imagine much has changed. And like I said before, mostly I just wanted to check out a couple of the original buildings that withstood all the fires that they've had throughout the years. Yeah, kind of what I was expecting. It's a big parking lot and there's only one car that I can see. And it's close to the touristy part of town. So yeah, we're well within walking distance, without all the hassle of trying to find a spot where everybody else is going to be parking. Wow, it is starting to get dark. But you can see the main street here is blocked off to traffic, so you can walk around, and they do have stagecoaches to give you little rides in. But the first building I wanted to stop at was this Birdcage Theater. It was its original building, and because of its construction, it lasted through the fires. But all this stuff is original. What I really like, see these stairs right here? You can see the wear and tear from way back in the 1880s of people walking up. This is how they got to the boxes up top to get a better view when a play was in town. Wow, look at that clock. Holy cow, that thing that's probably worth a fortune. There's all the memorabilia. You can see they've added sprinklers in throughout the years, I guess, to meet some kind of code. And that's an original bar. Look at those lampshades. But that bar, you can see a bullet hole in there.
Right through the front door that says morning.
Okay. Look, see, that's the boxes that you could sit in that those stairs led to, one on each side. See that old sprinkler system right there they have loaded in. And that's on the other side. Pretty fancy. My first impression was when I saw this is how small it actually is in here. There would be no problem of hearing anything. And in the movie, you probably saw where the cowboys were all sitting around and joking about the guy that was doing a play up there. And down in the basement of the Birdcage Theater, you can see here these tables and chairs are original back in the 1880s. I think Wyatt Earp even played here, but this was the site of the longest continuous poker game, around like 8 years. And they had a list. You put your name down, and you put a deposit down. When somebody ran out of money or quit the game, then they would send a runner to get the next guy that was in line. So 8 years running. But it's so neat that those are the original tables and chairs. The gaming rules were the official rules. Yeah. And you can see people just kind of, visitors tossing money out there. Huh. And also I see these mirrors that are on the wall. It's said that those are in the exact same location they've been since 1880s. They haven't been moved. And there's a secondary poker table over there. And that bar is original. And also there's some broken glass and bottles, whiskey and wine glasses are all original from the 1800s, 1880s as well. Yeah, I thought this was a really neat part of Tombstone history. Now, because these are some neat pictures, but because they say this is a really haunted place, they want you to take as many pictures as you want, and you can film it for personal use. And if you find anything weird in your pictures, they ask that you send them in so that they can promote that. But I found out in the museum that they do ask that you only film it for personal use. That's kind of why I cut it short. They ask not to promote it and to make money off of. So I'm going to respect their wishes, but I just did want to give you a little idea of what's in the museum, and it is well worth the visit here. It's if you like looking at old history, original items from the 1800s, a lot of old pictures like you can see here, definitely stop by. All right, well, I'm gonna get over to the courthouse. So what we got here? Yeah, here's the not for sale. Wyatt Earp, his brothers, Doc Holliday. Feel like riding in a stagecoach? You can do that here. They have a couple of them that run. I did that probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it's kind of nice. You sit in the back, and the driver up front has a little microphone, and he tells you all about the history of the town, the different sites of stuff that happened. You know, I learned a lot just from riding in that last time I was here. It's not very crowded, is it? I was expecting a little bit more. Maybe the summer heat and then also a storm coming in. It's not that crowded. Some of these this is an old saloon. But like I said, most of these buildings like this have burned down and been rebuilt. Big Nose Kate's Saloon. That was Doc Holliday's girlfriend. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've only been here twice, and the first time was late spring, so it was already getting pretty warm. And this time, it's later in the year, it's June, and yeah, it's kind of hot. So I don't know what it's like in the winter during the high season. Here's the courthouse. That's where we're going to be going next. It's an original building as well. And here's this guy is in costume. He's in character. They have a lot of that. You saw the two cowboys. They put on a lot of shows that you can watch gunfights, that type of stuff. Adults, $7. So this is not privately owned. It's a state historic park. so they have no problems filming. I'll be able to get more footage in here to show you guys, and there's a lot of cool stuff, original stuff in there as well. But I saw these. I wanted to see what this was. Looks like an old scale or something. I don't know what that is. Huh. If you know what that is, leave me a comment. I didn't see a sign. And that's a shaft elevator, mine shaft elevator there. That's what the sign says. Pretty old and rusty. Don't know if I'd trust that anymore. Look at this original construction. You can see the old fire brick. And I'm sure over the years it has been remodeled a little bit, renovated to keep for upkeep, but it's all original for sure. Beautiful too. All right, what do you say? Let's go take a look inside. Oh, what do we have here? Bats or buildings? So at dusk, you might see bats flying from under the eaves of the courthouse on their insect hunting forays. Wow. That'd be kind of neat to see. I don't know about when it's rainy like this, but open 9 to 3. Yeah, I'm barely making it in time. When I was paying, she recommended that we start on the second floor because they don't have air conditioning in this building. So yeah, especially this time of year, it gets a little warm. So if you you want to start upstairs and then work your way downstairs where it's a little bit cooler, so we'll do that. Now, it is kind of dark, so I'm gonna have to really, sorry about how shaky this is. I'm walking as slow as I can. I can't wait for my new camera to get here. It's supposed to be a lot better for these low light conditions. And I can't wait to try it out. Beautiful stairs though, man. All original. And when you're walking up, you can hear the stairs creaking. Wow, there's some old hutches. Yeah, they have the windows open and the fans blowing, trying to get some of that cooler air in here. Nice china hutch. Old geography books. Some old dresses from the day. Wow, that's a fancy photo album. Ritter collection. Courthouse builder, county treasurer, and local caretaker. It's a view outside. Look at this old iron. Oh, Kwong Ki. We saw his grave at Boot Hill and the restaurant that he owned. Ah, interesting. So he's kind of a big deal here. Hoptown. Look at that old laundry, the iron. 21 pounds iron. That was a wok used by Kwong Ki. Wow. Interesting guy. Opium pipes. We have a hutch full of old china. Wow, that one cracked. Wow. Look at this. Boy, that is some fancy carving there. I'd love to have one of these for the house. Old desk. The Butler family. A family portrait. 1880s. Looks like some old hair dress stuff. Oh, barrettes. Is that what they're called? Barrettes. Some old shoes, moccasins for kids. And of course, what would a museum be without the old fire trailer truck, the little pull cart for your local volunteer fire department. And I think he's been on the trail a little too long. Hasn't had enough to eat. Let's see, Tombstone Post Office. Oh, it's so dark. I need to go as slow as I can. Money orders. Wow. Good old typewriter in there. Small little office. I wonder if that was originally in here or if they just put it up here for display. That's kind of a neat picture. Horse and carriage meet in the car like that. And just some different desert vegetation from around the area. Oh, check out these old branding irons. No canteen. What's this old blanket? What does this say? Cowboys bedroll. Wow, that doesn't look very comfortable. Look how thick the leather is on those chaps. Wow. Save the legs though, I'm sure. Fancy stirrup covers. Some nice detailed work on that. The cattle barons. That was pretty dangerous too. I noticed over at Boot Hill, a lot of the guys that were killed either driving cattle, some of the cattle barons disagreed with each other. Mexican ranching. So yeah, there was a lot of guys over there from the cattle part of town. Look at that old bridle. Let's see what we have over here. Oh, I see a camera. Now, it has my attention. Let's check that out in a second. But who's this guy? This room was part of the 1882 courtroom until new construction in 1904. Wow. We got a lot of old law books, probably. Look at those old chairs, comfy. But this is what really I wanted to see. Check out this old chair. A portrait chair used by prominent Bisbee photographers, the Irwin brothers. That is original. Man, there's a lot of work in that, carving that. How cool is that? And they even have over here a couple of pictures with people in that chair. Wow. That is neat. To see those old pictures like that, 1924, and then to have the real thing sitting right here in front of you. Yeah, check out this old camera. John P. Clume. Look at the construction. Let's see. Built as early as 1907. Mahogany and cherry. $45. Brand new. Wow. And here's the actual courtroom. And these are still some of the same old chairs that people would have sat in. All original stuff. And this is the only type of temperature control they had, the stoves. Wow, look at the old, here's these old, I keep wanting to call them pews, but that's in church, I know. There's a witness stand over there. Like this old wainscot along the walls. A lot of nice woodworking back then. a court recorder's desk, and then you have the defense attorney. Look at the jurors' chairs. They had them all spaced out. I like those two cool doors right there to get out. That is neat. There's some more of the same doors. There's some original mug shots. I like, see how they have that mirror at their shoulder? It's because back then to get two pictures was a lot of work. So they just had a mirror at the right angle to get the front and profile view. Creative. The Bisbee deportation trial. Oh, I heard a little bit about this. A mining company back in like the early 1900s, the Phelps Dodge Corporation. That's the sheriff that was involved. There were some striking miners. So the company put a list together, it was like 1,300 of them. 1,300 people, and they all got deported to New Mexico. And then they were told not to come back. It was like traveled for days in this train carts and no food, just a little bit of water. Here's some pictures of the old courthouse. See, same kind of construction. 1900 there. 1882 to 1982. All some original gavels. 1950s, abandoned and vandalized. Wow, this was abandoned? Early 1950s. Wow. Tough Nut Street. Well, I didn't realize this place was abandoned and they renovated it. Well, that's very interesting. Check out this old top hat. That's fancy stuff, I guess, back then. Alright, well, we should probably make our way downstairs before they close up. Still, look at that's a great look at that view of the stairwell. And that's all original handrail, wainscot. A lot of nice work here. See what I mean? You can hear the stairs creaking underneath. Some silverware here. Alright, let's see what we can find down here. We've got... What is that thing? Oh, cool. Sunglasses. What we have here, we've got some blueprints. Courthouse. That's the blueprint of the courthouse. Cool. Some old woodworking tools, it looks like. 1/8 scale. Wow. A.J. Ritter. And what do we have here? Oh, this is it's like transparency glass viewer. Kind of like slideshows. Kind of the entertainment, stage and theater, stereograph viewer. See if I can get this to work. Nah, it didn't work so well, did it? Yeah, musical entertainment, banjo, 5-string banjo. Yeah, I guess cards were a big deal back then. They played, was it Pharaoh? A lot of the Pharaoh was played here. The Birdcage Theater there we went into. A talking machine. Check out this old piano. Talking machine. Is that like a record player? They call it a talking machine? Roulette wheel. Check out this old bar, Halford Saloon. Let's see what they have to say about this. Oh, there's an old picture of the bar and the owner, Halford, in the picture. Oh, and it also said, there he is. It also said that the Earps and Doc Holliday gathered right outside his saloon on their way to the OK Corral. That's pretty historic right there. Wow. I'm glad they reserved recorder's office. I'm glad they preserved that bar. Oh, here's some, what was that, Pharaoh? Yeah, the gambling, like I was saying. Ed Shefflin, the founder of Tombstone. Tucson. So these were his original rifles. 44 caliber Henry. His travel kit. Boots. Man, that old canteen wrapped with canvas helped keep the water cool through the breeze. Learned that trick. Oh, there he is. He looked like an explorer. I'll check out this old jail cell. Look at that key. Cochise County Jail. Receipt for insane person delivered to the Arizona Territorial Asylum. Wow. Let's see what's over here. Oh, assayer's office. Alright, so there's a little courtyard area that I wanted to go check out too before they close up. Let's go check that out. Look at that old safe right there. Alright, it's just out these doors. What do we have here? It's a replica of the gallows. Yeah. Look how dark it's getting out here. Storms are coming. 7 men died. The gallows is a reconstruction. The original was burned in 1912. And that's when the state started taking over executions. That's interesting. Then over here they have a little replica jail cell for your pictures, if you want to get some pictures, selfies inside of a jail cell. Neat little touch here. That old safe door. This eerie little sight there, huh? Clouds in the background. I do got to say though, it feels nice out here, a little bit of a breeze, and inside you have that stale, or that the air is so still. I wonder if they have those doors built into this reconstruction. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But yeah, the air doesn't move inside, so it's still a little bit warm in there. I see a little AC, a window AC up there. But it's still pretty warm. Alright, well I think they're about to close up soon, so I wanted to get over to the actual OK Corral so we can take a quick look at that. There's a little bit of history of that, so I figured since we're here, there's the 3 guys that were killed, but since we're here, might as well stop and take a look at it.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to know. We're happy to share whatever we've got.
All right, it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. So let's see if we can get inside, pay up, and then take a real quick tour of the OK Corral site. Well, while I was paying, it started raining a little bit harder, so I'm just going to kill a little bit of time, see if the rain will stop for a quick second. Check out all this doctor's equipment in this old hearse carriage. Look at that. Oh, there's the three guys that were killed in the gunfight. Little glass case hearse. And then I saw these old saddles over here. Wow, it is dark in here too. Sorry for the shakes. And this old carriage. That one looks kind of comfy though. Must have been a high end. Well, what's the weather like? Let's go check it out. Yeah, it's still coming down a little bit. Give it another quick second here to see. This is just kind of, it's a little touristy back here, but you can see the old stables back here. And then past that is where the gunfight was. And they say the blacksmith's in. Well, that would be kind of neat to see. Well, I had to make a mad dash. The rain wasn't letting up. So in here we have, this is a brothel room. It's kind of what a typical room looked like. A couple pictures here. Doc Holliday's girlfriend. There she is, Big Nose Kate. A couple of the 1880 lovelies. That's what they're calling them. Well, there's just not a lot to them. Streetwalkers. A little bit of history in here for that. Parlor houses and brothels. Yep, the oldest profession in the world. Behind red lights. I saw over here, look at that. I guess that would be a chamber pot. Some of the old fixtures of the house, I guess. That's a cool old bed railing or railing there. I saw this. This was interesting. So railroad engineer red light lanterns. When a train would come in, the engineer would visit a brothel. He had his red light, and he would always keep it outside of the place that he was staying, so that he could, if somebody needed to get a hold of him, they could see that red light and let him know where he was. And that's how the red light district kind of started. So this is where the fight was. And when you pay to come in, you can do like I did, just kind of walk around on your own. But you can also purchase a ticket to go see. They have a gunfight show. It's just inside this gate here to the left. But I'm trying to stay under this tree where it's not so rainy. I'm going to make a little bit of a quick walk back to the stable over there. You know, I don't think I'll ever complain raining in this desert of Arizona. Look at that old outhouse. But that's the building we were just in, the brothel house. Let me get over here so we can get out of the rain a little bit, where these stables are. That's better. Well, there's not much room, but I think if I stay close to these poles, the water won't drip on my head. GoPro is safe, it's waterproof, but my mic is not waterproof. Let me see if I can squeeze in here a little bit to get get out of the rain. I'm covering up my mic a little bit. Hope it's not muffled out. Oh, no, cowboy bathtub, check that out. Yeah, they kept them as small as possible to use the least amount of water. So kind of like these old movies you see where in like a full bathtub. It wasn't like that most of the time. The Texas Trail saddles. Look how dusty they are. All the old adobe brick. The cowboy saddle. Got some old fire equipment here. And we're making our way down towards where the blacksmith is. Well, these are some pretty neat old carriages. And this was a stable, as a corral, so this is where they would have kept a lot of the horses and carriages like this originally. Yep, he's in there working. Let's see what we can see here. Not too sure what this room was, but I don't know, it's pretty close to the blacksmith shop, so maybe it was where him and his family lived. I don't know. If you do know, I'd love to hear it. I don't even know if this building survived the fires. Deaths in the OK Corral. Yeah, just a lot of history of the actual corral. Some old pictures of town. So here's a desk. Yep, there's the old blacksmith shop. Historic OK Corral Tombstone. What we got here? Honest John Montgomery. We got a picture of the livery stable and livery and feed stable from 1908. What do we have? Entrance to the stable, 1930, down Main Street. Well, they started taxing horse-drawn vehicles in Arizona. Jerome Mining News. I still need to get to Jerome. I've been there, but I want to go back and really take my time and walk around there again. Well, it's lit up a little bit. You can see people are starting to come out. Check out the blacksmith doing his work. Yeah, overall pretty neat little place. Like I say, it can get a little bit touristy, but since I was here, I just kind of wanted to stop and let you guys see a little bit of it. Oh, you know what? Since it stopped raining, there's one more room I wanted to show you. It's right by where the fight was, and it's kind of a neat little history to it. We're going to take a quick walk back to where we were. This would have been Doc Holliday's room. And on October 26th, like it says here, his girlfriend, Big Nose Kate, came over to visit. And he wasn't here, but the guys who were going to ambush Doc Holliday, they had already gathered outside, and Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, and his brothers they'd gathered and were going to come disarm these guys that were going to try and ambush Doc Holliday. And so she witnessed the gunfight. And that sign said, even though she witnessed it, she was never called as a witness during all the trials. So, thought that was interesting. Look at that traveling trunk. Yeah, so I thought that was a neat little bit of history that you might want to see. So, and this was a portrait studio. His room was just off to the side of the portrait studio. All these old pictures in here too. So back inside the building, they sell all sorts of t-shirts and postcards, all sorts of, you can get some, check this out, OK Corral hot sauce. Yeah, all sorts of souvenirs you can get. But I think we're gonna head out and hit the road. I got someplace else I want to show you guys. And while I had the chance, I wanted to get the drone up. That's Main Street that we were just on in Tombstone. You can kind of see the courthouse there. And that is, you can see the storm that kind of went over us, the rain. Boot Hill is off in the distance there. Yeah, I don't know if you can beat the desert like this after a rain comes through or it's on its way in. It's usually better after it's leaving because there's no dust storm. Dust storms come before the rain hits. And we're getting back into the hills where all the silver was found. And that's the direction that we're headed out of town. Off into those hills. Well, that was a pretty fun stop. It's always nice to stop and see a historical site like that. But just up here, I saw, I'm not sure what I know there's some storyboards we can look at, but I don't know, it's called the Milville site. I just kind of wanted to see if there's any old buildings we can look at. So I thought we'd make a quick stop here, take a little bit of a walk, and see what we can find. So it looks like I can park here, a little bit of a trailhead. So yeah, those storm clouds still looming ahead. That's all right. It's nice and cool out there right now with that breeze going. All right, let me get out and see what we can find. Let's see, Millville Historic Town Site and Rock Art Discovery Trail. I don't know anything about this. I know if you drive down a little farther, I can see there's like a little storyboard or something. There's a little structure up there. We'll go check that out in a little bit. But I wanted to take a little walk down this trail, see what we can find. Must be quite right along a river or a wash or something, because you see a lot of those trees. Big green trees again, those cottonwoods. Nice easy trail. Looks like it gets a lot of traffic too. So maybe there's something up here we can see. Well, I see a storyboard, and I can kind of see off in the distance there's something up there. Alrighty. Milville and Charleston. Petroglyph Discovery Trail. Oh, so there's some old pictures, maybe Milville in the foreground. And some old pictures of Charleston, a home in Charleston. So this is right along the San Pedro River. It's kind of what I thought with all those trees up there. So Charleston was where a lot of the mill workers lived. Interesting, back in 1881. But unfortunately, I see that there is no marked trail to the actual town of Charleston, and BLM does not encourage visitation to this site. Well, people can't tear trash on the ground, so people can't take care of stuff. But anyways, let's take a little walk up just a little bit, see how far we can go. I'm not going to walk up to the mill. I was hoping to see the town more than anything. And plus, you can see with the rain, I don't want to get stuck out here again if it starts raining. But yeah, you can see the mill out there. And somewhere out there is Charleston. That's too bad. I was hoping I could see the town out there. Oh well. I think we'll just head back. I have another little spot just down the road I want to stop at. We'll make a right here, and just up the road is I think it's an interesting little site. There's not much to it, little monument. And quite literally, we are about just a mile down the road from where we just were. Nice and lush green trees, so we're going to be right on the river. But this was a site, and you can see the monument, but it's for the Mormon Battalion. There were about 500 Mormons that volunteered during the Mexican-American War. So let me get parked and we'll take a quick look at this little monument. Alright, let's see here. Mormon Battalion, the Narrows, December 12th, 1846. Battle of the Bulls. Now, this was really the only major action they saw, and they were heading up the San Pedro River here, and a herd of wild bulls stampeded towards them. Three of the guys were hurt, and they killed some of the bulls. Some burros were gored that they were using, and some of the wagons were overturned, and all the melee that was going on. So, but I thought that was kind of interesting, and it was on the way, so I thought I would just check it out. But I wanted to see, it's hard to see through this fence, but I wanted to take a look at the river from here. Those big old cottonwoods. Even with this low light that I have, that's still pretty to see. All right, let's head back to the truck. I got one more place I wanted to stop at, and it's getting a little bit late, so after that I still have to find some place to camp for the night. So it's gonna be a fun. I wasn't sure where I was gonna be tonight, so I didn't reserve anything. Well, this weather is kind of hung around most of the trip. It is supposed to clear up tomorrow, so kind of hoping for that. And just as a reminder, if you like this kind of content, hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and click on the notification bell so you can get notified when I put new videos out. That's the kind of stuff that really helps the channel grow and lets me get out and do more stuff like this. So I really do appreciate the help. So it's just not too far up here. It's an old ranch house that has been restored, And some of the pictures I've seen, it's a really pretty place. So here is the San Pedro House. Like I said before, it's an old ranch house that was renovated. I think it was by friends of the San Pedro River. And you can see it's surrounded by cottonwoods. And these things are huge. Man. Not too many people here. Like I said, it's a little late in the day. And inside the house, they have like a little bookstore, that kind of thing. I believe it's closed right now. It's kind of late in the day. But I just wanted to stop and take a quick look, stretch the legs just a little bit before we have to go find some place to camp. All right, well, I see a storyboard. It is peaceful here. Hardly any wind. You can hear the birds. Wow. There's a couple cars, but I don't see anybody. Let's see here. United States Department of Interior Service. It's BLM Management. Yeah, there's a trail you can take down to the river. So maybe that's where they are. And that's the ranch house, looks like. Wow, this is really neat. It's well groomed, lots of storyboards. They talk about a lot of the vegetation around. What do we have here? Cottonwood community. It talks about how cottonwoods, how birds, how they thrive with the cottonwoods. I see they have trash cans that have the heavy lids, so maybe raccoons or something like that. Riparian habitat. So this is part of the riparian habitat, and from what I read, that's one of the rarest. It's a part of a forest, and that's a pretty rare forest along the San Pedro River. The San Pedro Basin. Pretty little place, got some water fountains, and it really is a place to come relax. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now. Especially if it was a nice hot day. You can come in here and get in some of the shade of these trees. Sit on a bench here. Well, it looks like that might just loop around. But first we'll come back to this. Yeah, we'll come back. I just wanted to take a little stroll over here. I see a lot of bird feeders. And being part of the riparian forest like this, if you're a birder, this is probably a really good place to come check out the birds. But I see something up here that has got my attention. Wow. Look at the size of that tree. Oh, holy cow. Man, that's a big cottonwood. And when it broke off, it came crashing down onto that house. Oh man, that thing is huge. Wow, I can't get over how big that thing is. This is a really pretty place. I actually did not know this was here. I saw it on the way to Bisbee. And man, this place is really pretty. It's well manicured. Lots of butterflies everywhere. It's riparian. I think I'm saying that right. because we're right next to the San Pedro River. Riparian. Look at these butterflies. Little loops you can make. Nice and peaceful little walk. You can go down to the river too if you want, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm still trying to get to the next destination. I keep finding all these little places. Man, these trees are huge. Oh, this is pretty. Little pond. I don't know if there's any. Yeah, there's goldfish in there. There's lots of bees. And the trail goes a little bit farther down this way. But the rain is chasing me. I'm trying to stay ahead of the rain. So, there's a neat little, pretty little butterfly flopping around. So it looks like they may give lectures here. And that's off in the direction of the San Pedro. Yeah, see this trail, you can take this trail on over to the river. Maybe I'll get lucky and it won't rain tonight. That's beautiful. It is just beautiful. I'm gonna have to get a picture here somewhere. There's another massive cottonwood. Pretty. Stay on established garden pathways. I will do that. Lots of places to stop and rest, listen to the wildlife. And they tell you about all the different types of, see if I can, Slim Pod Senna, native plants. And so there's lots of descriptions of all the types of plants they have here. It's a pretty little painted rock right there. It's starting to get a little bit breezy, so I think the storm is catching up to me. Look at that cottonwood, the cottonwood community. There's that big old massive tree again. Wow. All right, well, I think it's time to get moving on. Globally important bird area. There's a river a quarter mile away. Not too bad. But I seriously don't have the time to go down there.
Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona.
All right, we are on the road again, and I still have to find some place to camp tonight. So, like I said before, I didn't know where I was going to be this time of the evening, so I didn't make reservations anywhere. So I'm going to have to scramble, find something. Just look how beautiful it is along the San Pedro River. Wow. It's like a rainforest almost. But yeah, I gotta find some place to stay, try and get some good rest, because I have a busy day planned for tomorrow. Like I said, the weather is supposed to be a little bit better, and I think that's gonna do it. So I am going to sign off, and just remember, never say goodbye, always see you later.